Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So we are fixing to do block 13 of our mystery star block of the month. And block 13, she's calling it the double star, which I guess it would be a double star. So yep, that's the block that we're doing this month. So if you're new here, what we're doing is a mystery star block of the month, and every month we do a different insert that goes into a set of star legs. The star legs are going to be the same for every single block. We're just doing different inserts. If you need the measurements or instructions on how to do the star legs, go back to the very first video in this playlist and I go over that with you. And like I said, they're the same for every single block every month, so you can do a whole bunch of them up and have them ready to go. So let's get started. All right, so for this one you're going to need two fabrics. Now I'm using a purple for my inner star and then this kind of pink for what is the background. So, but you could do any color you wanted. You could use a white inside and then a dark background, like she did, whatever you want to use. So for your inner star fabric, you're going to need one 3.5 by 3.5 inch square and 8 2x2 squares. And then from your background, which is going to be this darker fabric on the outside of the white star, you will need 4 2x2 squares and 4 2 by 3.5 inch rectangles. And yeah, so that's it. So let's get started. Okay, so we're going to start with our 3.5 inch rectangles, and we're going to be making flying geese with these. And then our 2 inch, well, that is awful dark, isn't it? Let me see if I can, it's a little better. And then our 2 inch of your opposite color, we're going to use that to snowball the corners and make the flying geese. If you have another method to make these, you just do it however you need to. They need to measure 2 by 3.5 inches when you're finished. So I'm just going to go through here and put one on. You'll have to do them one at a time because you are going to flip it over and need to cut the bulk before you add the other side. So you're going to stitch from the inner down toward the bottom corner. Just stitch right on. If you draw a line, stitch right on that line. I'm going to use my diagonal seam tape. And just run these through. We'll just chain piece these. Okay, so I just chain pieced all those through, so I'm just going to roll these back and make sure that my edges here are meeting so that I still have the same size rectangle, and they are on that one. So then I'm just going to take my scissors and trim that off, and like I said, just finger press this. You could press it with the iron if you wanted to. And then you're going to take your other one and put it right sides together on the other side and do the same thing, but just in the opposite direction. So go from the inner corner down to the bottom. And just like that. I'll do one more here on camera and then I'll finish the other ones off camera. Alright, put that on there, right sides together. Alright, so I've got them all trimmed. Let me pull this a little closer. My floor's a disaster. Don't pay no mind to it. So I'm going to roll that back and give it a press. So these should finish out at 2 inches by 3.5 inches is the size that we are looking for. And you will have 4 of them. Like I said, if you have a different way of doing flying geese that you like better, you know, by all means do that. Alrighty. Okay, so there are my 4 little flying geese. Okay, so just gather all your other pieces. So your center of your star is your 3.5 by 3.5 inch square. And your flying geese, you want the geese part of your unit to go against the center. So that's the easy way to tell which way it goes. And then your other little 2 inch squares will go in the corners, and we'll just sew this together and it'll be done. It looked a lot more complicated on the pattern. It seemed like that went pretty quick. I think it took me longer to cut all the fabric out than it did to sew it up together. It took me longer to choose which fabrics because I just wasn't sure. There we go. Cool. So that's our center block. So let's get that sewn together. So I'm going to sew this top row together first. Then I'll sew these onto the sides and then this bottom row like that. Okay, so I brought everything up here to my sewing table on where my sewing machine is here on the table, whatever you call it. Anyway. All right, I'm going to flip that one over, 1/4 inch. And I'm just going to do these row by row, and then I'm just going to finger press that to the outside. And then that way they're all just done row by row, and then I can stitch the rows together. Okay, press that one to the outside, so that one goes up at the top. All right, so now I'm going to put the sides on our center square. Now, if you don't want to lose the points on your flying geese, I think I've shown you this before, but right here where these two intersect, when you're stitching along across here, just be sure you're on this side of that little tiny intersection, and then that will save your point there if you're worried about your point. And if you're coming along at 1/4 inch and you get here, you may have to veer out just a little bit and then come back in and finish. I've done that before, and the block will turn out just fine if you have to do that. You know, as long as you're not like way out. That one, I'm just right there on it, so I'm good. I'm just right above it. Perfect. Yep, so see, I've got my point still. I don't worry about my points a whole lot, but I know some folks do, and you know, I mean, it's if you take the time to do it right, it's just all in the quality of your workmanship. All right, I'm gonna got that one. So these I'm going to press to the inside. I'm just finger pressing them for right now. So that's going to go on there. I should have put my camera back where you guys can see a little better. So then we're going to sew these squares onto this. These are batiks. This pink is. It doesn't really have a wrong or right side. All right, and that one goes on there. I'm going to turn it around this way. Okay, press these to the outside, and then all these seams should match right up. Yep. So here's what we're looking like. So I'm going to flip these rows over onto here and match those seams where I put the blocks together. God, these are so teeny tiny little pieces. Okay. Alright, and then this one, it probably is not going to matter. Actually, I think I'll flip it to the inside. There's a little less bulk right there if I go to the inside. So, okay. That one goes on like that. Ooh, it's a tiny little star. Teeny tiny. It's so cute. Alright, and that goes there, and that one goes there. I'm just lining up my little seams here. I think I kept all my points. Yay! A good day in sewing land when you do that. Yep, I did. Woohoo! Alright. Oh, I got a little pucker right there. I guess that was just I didn't notice that when I was sewing it. I think I can starch that out. So, alright. So there's our little insert. How cute is that? Let's press this out. Okay. So now your little insert should measure 6.5 by 6.5. Unfinished. When we get it in the finished block, it'll be 6 inches. I'm kind of just going from the back here and getting these kind of the one I want them, and then I'll press it again from the front. And I need to starch it because I did have that little pucker in there. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to give it a little starch. And then go in, yeah. And I did not bring my ruler again. But this should measure 6.5 by 6.5. So there's our little insert for block 13. How cute is that? Okay, I've got my star legs ready to go. And if you have any wonky edges right now, now is the time to trim this straight so that they match up with your star legs. Alright, so we've got, that one goes on the top. It's going to be pretty close from the looks of it. It looks like it's going to be pretty close, so. Alright, there's that. Then this one on the sides. And these on the bottom. There it is. How cute. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is add my sides to my center block. Okay, so we'll add the sides on here first. And I'm going to go from this way because they're just about 1/4 of an inch bigger. My little star legs are. And I want my sewing machine to kind of take that up, that difference. And that could just have been my seam allowance. I've got a different foot on here than what I normally use. I do not have my 1/4 inch foot on here, so I'm living dangerously and winging it. Alright, so then we'll put this one, so that goes like that. This one is pretty, nope, I'm going to go from this side. Okay. And there's really not much to nothing to match on these. Alright, and so then these ones I'm going to press to the inside. It's just a little, well, it's not really going to matter. There's bulk no matter where you go. So if you wanted to press these ones open, you could do that. And that would really reduce the bulk right here. But I think it's going to be that it's not going to matter either way. So, all right, next we're going to put our top rows on, top legs on. So, alrighty. Match up your seams there, and down here, the only ones we got to match. Okay, and put our other ones on, and we're almost finished. Down here. All right, that's it. All done. Just gotta press it. There it is. How cute is that? All right, let's get it pressed. This should finish, measure 12.5 unfinished or 12-inch finished, just whichever way you prefer to say it. And I'm starting at the back and gonna kind of start rolling these the direction that I want them to go, and then I'll come in from the front and okay. And then I've been using starch a lot because it seems like it really helps. There we go. Just give it a good press. Get it as flat as you can get it. And yep, there it is. I'll measure this and trim it if I need to trim it. So there's our block. Block 13, the double star. How cute is that? You know, I look at some of these patterns and go, and I'm looking at the pattern going, ooh, that looks like it's going to be hard. And I'm, you know, because I know it's all these little teeny tiny pieces, but that went together very quickly. So, yeah, the double star. Super cute. All right, so there's block 13. I'm fixing to edit this, get it uploaded, and then hopefully I will get block 14 done today also and get it uploaded. So, have a great day, and I'll see you for block 14.